Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Doctor. It is currently 9 p.m. here, Friday evening, and we are here with all 66 people from Twitch who are hanging out for our first semi-live Diggscast. This is going to be our second episode, first one ever done semi-live. And today in the Diggscast, we're going to be focusing on sort of like an overview of what the Diggscast is going to be this week, where we're going forward with it. We do have the primary focus, which is going to be an interview with the Bismarck from warofthevisioncalc.com. He is the founder of FFBE Chain.com and warofthevisioncalc.com. We're also going to have, after that, a weekly farm update, corrections, or my Nagarok discussion and Dismantle discussion. And then we're going to talk about next week featuring King Rayon and his time on our stream. We will be putting chat up on the left side here so that you guys can see the commentary. And I'm going to go ahead and get this recording of our interview with Bismarck playing so that you guys can all hear kind of what's coming for warofthevisioncalc.com and what the perspective of things look like from someone who actually translates all the data mined information that we get on a daily basis. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Doctor, and today we're going to be interviewing Bismarck today. Bismarck, how are you doing, dude?
I'm fine. And you?
You know, I'm doing really great, thank you. This is the first time we've ever done an interview, actually, in my channel. So thank you so much for being here today and having the time to come and talk to me. And talk to all the people out there who are playing War of the Visions right now. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, so I'm Bismarck. I'm also a YouTuber and a streamer, but in French normally. It's the first time I do something vocally in English. And I'm also a creator of websites like FFBE Chain for the first version of Bravexus. And for War of the Vision, I create a new website called War of the Vision Calc to help people build their team.
Really? I didn't even know that you were the one responsible for FFBE Chain. I actually use that page all the time when I was playing FFBE.
Yeah.
So how long have you been playing War of the Visions?
Since day one for the Japanese version and also day one for the global version.
Oh, wow. So did you play day one for the Japanese version of the first Brave Exvius as well?
Yes.
Wow. So I gotta ask a question then. What's your favorite unit in War of the Visions in both JP and Global?
For the boss, it's the same. It's Frederica because it's the first really usable unit for distance playing. And she has both the job, the gunner, and the archery.
Mm-hmm.
And we can adapt her easily based on the map, on the unit we fight with. So yeah, I really love her.
Yeah, I feel like we're really discovering that this week with the change in the arena map right now, where it has the large divide in the center. And I think a lot of people are realizing just how strong Frederica can be.
Yeah, she's so good with this new map.
Oh, she's so good. So why'd you decide to start FFBE Chain and warofthevisioncalc.com?
The first thing is because I love data and maths applied to video games. I started doing theory crafting and data mining since World of Warcraft, maybe more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love to see how the game is developed, what are the maths behind it. So yeah, I start with FFBE Chain to help people understand the chaining system on Bravexus, which is totally different than the War of the Vision one.
Very different.
Yeah, and for War of the Vision, I wanted to help people to another way. So that's why I decided to create this new website.
Well, honestly, I have to tell you, I think warthevisionscalc.com is probably the best website that we have right now for any resources, and I'll definitely send people that way any day of the week. Are there any new features you're planning on bringing to it, like a stat ranking system that Altema has?
Uh, the stats ranking system was not in my roadmap, but it can be easily doable. I have all the data. For everyone to know it, today I released a new feature which is a board for the Esper.
Yep.
Now, yeah,
So
you
you
can
really
have the
you just released the Esper board on it today?
yeah.
Oh, that's super
This
cool.
this morning for me, for you, this this noon, but yeah,
Oh, that's really cool. So when you go on it, you can actually see the Esper board and you can plan the amount of SP that you want to actually use, huh?
yeah. For each node, you can see directly how many SP it will cost,
Oh,
and
that's so
later
cool, dude.
on, for the real builder, which is the main feature I hope to give to everyone, you will be able to see for, let's example, for a golem level 25
Mm-hmm.
stars, how many SP in total you can have, and you will be able to make the choice and see it visually instead
That's super
of
cool.
use Visor in game.
So would you say the end goal of warthevisioncalc.com is to create like a hypothetical character builder with all of the equipment, gear, stats, and espers?
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be so awesome. When do you think you'll have all that done by? I see you're working really hard, and I know you just did. You say you're starting vacation today?
Yeah. So no, I can't say for sure, but I hope in maybe 2 weeks. I
Gosh,
think I will release the builder in 4 parts, one for each categories:
right.
the builder for Espers, builder for vision card, equipment, and later on unit will
Yep.
aggregate everything.
I know you're probably like me right now. You're probably just catching up on all the information that's out there right now in the current game. Are you planning on
Yes.
rolling it out so that you have the units that are coming out in the future ahead of time on there?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. And then one last question specifically about warthevisioncalc.com. When I was going through it, I've been using a lot of the modifiers in my video. So that's 30x and 65x. Can you talk about what those mean for people who might not be familiar with that type of information?
For Wars Division, we can be sure, but if we adapt the formula from the Alchemist Code or from Brevedius, it's almost like a percentage. For example, if you have 30x, it will be 130%. It should
Gotcha.
be something like that. So if we take a really easy formula, which is not the case in Wars Division, but if, for example, you have 10 attack points
Mm-hmm.
and you have a modifier of 30x,
Yep.
you will do 13
13.8
damage.
damage.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Gosh, thank you. I know there's been a lot of questions about that. So I'm glad. I mean, I didn't even know fully, to be honest with you. So thank you for telling me.
Yeah, no problem.
I do want to transition. I talked to you a little bit. I want to do kind of a Mythbuster section since you have so much experience in the game and you do actually read some of the data mined files for the game, right?
Yeah.
So I have kind of a collection of questions from the Discord. And the first
Okay.
one they wanted to ask was in regard to Liarte's shop, the Whimsy shop. Is it based off NRG consumption, and do you know for sure?
In the data file, we find something. We don't really know how it is used, but when we can be sure, it's the shop and the Chocobo Fever have a cooldown.
Yep.
For the shop is 30 minutes. For the Chocobo is 6 hours.
Okay.
And we have also another data linked to that, which is, it seems, for me, an AP cost. And for the shop, it seems that you need to use 1000 AP
Oh,
to
really?
have the shop.
So,
Only after the first one. The first one, it's only to 40 AP, I think, if my memory is good. And after that, you will need, if you want another extra shop for the day, to use more than 1000 AP.
are you talking AP as in action points or NRG?
For me is action point, because in the data the energy and action point are two different things, and here they use the word AP, so for me it's action point.
Really? So what you're saying is that Liarte's shop is actually connected to the amount of action points that characters are using per the event that they're actually participating in?
Yes.
Are you able to tell us, is that cumulative or is that just per battle?
No, it's cumulative. When you have a shop,
Mm-hmm.
and after that you reset your total AP used,
Mm-hmm.
and you will start accumulate the number for each battle you do.
And then just so I'm really clear on that, did you say the first one requires 40 for the day?
Yes.
And then the second one requires 1,000 AP used before you can even trigger the shop?
Yes, that's it.
Awesome. So if they wanted to trigger the shop 3 or 4 times, they would actually have to use 1,000 AP, trigger the shop, and then do 1,000 AP again?
Yes, for me is, from the data it looks like it.
That's really cool. And it's not a for sure pop. It's probably going to be that's when the window opens, right? For a percentage chance for that shop to pop.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So even to have a chance of having Liarte show up, you have to use 1,000 AP. Ooh, my cat just knocked my lamp over. Um, you have to use over 1,000 APs. So people who are grinding out hundreds and hundreds of NRG, they might not need to do that. They might just need to find a map where they can use a lot of AP, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And I think they can also adapt the team. I still don't have the time to do the test, but maybe a team with full magic attacker
Mm-hmm.
who have a lot of AP directly from the first turn of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe they can help proc the shop faster.
Oh, that would be really interesting. Moving on to kind of the next question here, even though I know everybody wants to talk about Liarte, one of the questions that was asked is, does dexterity affect ranged attack damage?
That's a difficult question, and I don't have the right answer, because right now for the data mining, we only have what I call the fixed data, the thing linked to unit, to experience, to equipment, everything which isn't calculated, and we don't have formulas. So right now, every formula we see on Reddit or whatever are necessarily wrong,
Mm-hmm.
because the real data miners don't publish it yet.
Oh, that's so interesting, dude. Do you know, like, how? Because you obviously you know where to get this information, and you have experience with reading this information. Do you think we'll ever see those equations in the near future, or do you think it's better for the community to test that information?
I think it will come,
Yeah.
which from what I saw from the the community Discord of War of the Vision,
Mm-hmm.
where the data miner are also present.
Yep.
I think when the wiki will be updated with the last unit and everything, I think they will also release the damage formula.
Nice. Moving on to critical hit, I pulled a lot of my information from the TAC formulas, and it looks like in my testing, the critical hit is always 1.5x of the damage. Is that true? Because my understanding was in TAC, it was 1.05 to 1.5x.
Yeah, I could say the same answer as that before, because like I say, we don't have the formula, but for me, yeah, it's more than 1.5x.
Yeah.
And I think it could come from Brave Exus, where the critical was effectively 1.5x.
Oh, really?
And from the testing, it
Oh.
seems to be that in War of the Vision.
Something else, I know you don't have the specific equations like you've been talking about, but maybe you just know from your specific experience playing Brave Exvius, does faith affect status effects from abilities? So, for example, with Frederica, I know you like your Frederica.
Yeah.
Should we all be leveling our faith on Frederica to 99 for those status effects?
I can be sure.
You can't be sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you found any information regarding affinity bonuses having diminishing returns?
Not directly from the data, but from every other data, we can see a typical curve. Well, moreover, Gumi and Alim use what I call a typical curve, which is effectively diminishing returns. So I think for affinities, it's exactly the same thing.
Gotcha. Is the evasion plus on equipment different than the evasion plus on the +1, +2, and +3 equipment? So that's like if you have a wizard's hat +5 and you have the evasion stat, does that stack with the evasion plus, or does that actually calculate onto a different evasion stat?
It's on the same stats. And what we can show is that if you have multiple equipment with an evasion plus, only the highest one will be kept.
Gotcha. I saw on Altema that there was an article about defense and spirit and base values of those. Is there any information that shows that defense and spirit are percentage based?
Also,
Oh,
the more it's not based on
Bismarck,
100%.
Bismarck, I think I had you cut out there. Could you start over again there for the defense and spirit?
Yeah. So for the defense and spirit, since we don't have the formula, we can be sure to 100% it's percentage based, but it will be transformed in percentage like in Brave Exodus. The spirit and the defense are transformed and used as a percentage to help reduce the damage.
Interesting. So if I'm following that right, kind of an add-on question to this, which I know I didn't send you ahead of time. Do units have innate defense and spirit?
No units have defense or spirit. Well, a based spirit or base spirit.
Okay.
All units start with a 0 in both stats, and you have to use equipment or everything else to give them defense or spirit.
Interesting. And now, our final question for the Mythbusters, and this came from the Discord. If Sharp Shot is a sure hit and Reflex is a sure dodge, what happens if Reflex procs on a Sharp Shot attack from Frederica?
So just to be sure of my answer, which is based on the data, but I wanted to test it. So yesterday I tested live with my viewers. But what we can see from the data is Spreadsheet give you 100% accuracy. And in the opposite, Reflex, when it proc, so you have 15% to launch the buffs, and the buff from Reflex gives you 200% of evasion in physical and magical damage. So Reflex will always win versus Sharp Shot because Reflex is 200% versus 100%. So even if you build a unit with more accuracy, it will always lose versus Reflex.
Wow, well, I wasn't expecting you to actually give me a solid answer to that, dude, so shout out to you.
Yeah.
I love that you and your community were doing that. I wanted to transition just into some conversations about the actual work that you do. I think a lot of people would be interested in knowing just kind of what it is you do. Would you say that it's accurate to call you sort of like a translator of the data mining information, or do you have a title you think you would rather put on that?
Yeah, translator of data. It's a cool name.
Yeah.
I think it's the more accurate one. I'm not a data miner because it's not me who gets the data.
Right.
But I use them.
Do you have a relationship with the people who do the actual data mining?
Not directly. Sometimes we talk on Discord, but that's all.
Right now, there seems to be a lot of misinformation out here in the global war divisions community. Is JP very similar, would you say?
It's similar and even worse in some aspect.
Really?
Because the Japanese version have less people, so less people who can do the test. And we also have the language barrier, which isn't helping.
Yeah, I could see that being pretty difficult. So a question in terms of how you get your information. Is there a website that you go to access this information if other people wanted to help translate the data mined information? Or is it something that you really just have to know somebody in the community to find this type of information?
Everyone can access the data given by the data miners. They publish all the data in maybe 2 or 3 repository on GitHub or on GitLab. I will give you the links so you can share it with your viewers, but it's available to everyone.
That would be great, because then maybe there's other people out there who want to do more of this translating work, right? And then you're not the only one out here doing it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of confusion on the bravery stat, and because of the lack of information, you can't fully tell us what bravery does, correct?
Like before, in the data mining, to explain and help everyone understand what is the data mining and why we can't answer every question. Data mining can be seen in 3 parts. The first part is the assets, so every image, everything we saw in the game. That's almost the easiest part to data mine.
Yeah.
Generally, it's not really difficult to get, so we can have them really easy. The second part of data mining is the fixed data, the data I use. So the data which help to build a unit or an expert, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the last part, it's the game code. And it's in this game code where we can have the different formulas, see which stat is used and for what is used. It's generally in the game code, and it's generally something the data miner don't want to be published for their own security and for be sure that malintentioned people don't use it to disturb the game.
Gotcha. So when we're talking about data miners getting in trouble with different companies like Gummy or Square Enix, it's usually when they post that third set of information, right? Because that offers a security danger. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, that's the only part where maybe Jimmy or Square Enix can say something, but for experience, we know the assets in fixed data that really don't care. They can reward some people who use the data. We have an example with Liargard from the Brave Exus
Mm-hmm.
version who built FFBE Equipe.com, the builder for Brave Exus.
Yep.
He has been invited to some fan festa by the Square Enix staff. So we know the assets and fixed data, they don't care. Okay. For the game codes, we can be sure. We know from the Alchemist code where the data miner publish the code, they haven't been in trouble for that, but we can be sure. That's the part where effectively a company can set something and sue people.
Really? That's crazy. That's really nuts.
Yeah.
If there's one tidbit of information out there that you want people to know about data mining and translation, I feel like you've shared so much already. What would it be?
It's not really linked to data miner. It's more generally about games and especially gacha games, which are based mainly on data. It's not to trust blindly whatever source, mainly Reddit, unless you are sure that the people who do the post is one of the main people of the community or a data miner, because I saw a lot of mistakes and a lot of bad stuff passed on Reddit. So be careful.
I agree. I mean, there's a lot of information which, I see that information on Reddit, and if it's my math that can prove it wrong within 5 minutes, I'm a little concerned. My degree is not even in math, it's in English. So it's concerning to me when I can prove something wrong, but the community believes it so adamantly that because it's been posted on Reddit, right? Like that's the foundation of information. And I think we are very quick right now to believe. And I would even encourage anyone listening to this, they should doubt you and me as well, right? Like we might be wrong. You definitely need to verify for yourself pretty much. Is there anything as a community we can do to help you in translating or help the data miners?
I don't think the data miners need really help, because it's almost like a night. It's almost like they are hacking the game, because the game is encoded and they just need time to work. But to help the translator and the data users, in the meantime, the community can help find more accurate formulas by themselves. We in Brave Exus, I think maybe we wait more than 1 year. It was the real formula, and in the meantime, the community help find something almost accurate to 100%. So I think everyone can help by doing tests.
So you're encouraging everyone to go out and test some of these formulas that are locked behind that third wall of information, right?
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be the best way. For you personally, is there anything else you want to tell them or tell people or encourage them for the future of War of the Visions? Or anything you think we should be getting ready for?
I think everyone needs to be ready for the next main event in PvE, which I call the tower. It will need to have more than 5 main units. So everyone needs to be ready. In the Japanese version, everyone for the first tower was a little bit loose, but I think we have time to prepare and to be more prepared in the global version.
When do you think we'll see that? Do you think that's about 2 months in or 3 months in from now?
In between 2 or 3 months.
So we have about 2 to 3 months to build up a set of about 12 units?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Bismarck, thank you so much for sitting down with me and doing this interview. I know it was kind of out of the blue. I just randomly emailed you. And thank you so much for being my first interview on the Diggscast. This is only my second episode, and it feels so cool to have you here and to get just actual information and actual data out there on War of the Visions. For anyone out there, I encourage you to go to warofthevisions.calc.com, and he does have a buy him a coffee button. Make sure you support the translator. We do love Bismarck. Bismarck, you have a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah. But only for French people, so maybe not everyone will see, but
we are global, right? I'm sure there's people out there who are French, so go ahead, let us know. What is it, Bismarck?
It's Bismarck TV.
Bismarck TV. And I have one last question for you, Bismarck. Why did you choose Bismarck as your name?
Because I loved water, and it's almost one of the only 2 or 3 espers based on water in Final Fantasy game. Leviathan, it's so used, so I chose Bismarck.
Cool. Well, thank you so much again, Bismarck, and to all the viewers out there, have a wonderful day.
Thank you to everyone. Thanks for the invitation, Diggs. Bye.
All right, everyone. So that was me sitting down this morning with Bismarck TV. We talked just a little bit more, but I think everyone wants just a little bit more from that. I think it can be frustrating how much information we don't have access to locked behind that third data mining wall. And I think it's only going to take testing that we do and anything else in the community to get there. We all know that Leviathan is a water elemental as well. But I think that the appeal of Bismarck is much cooler than Leviathan. And Bismarck is much more bear-like as well, old school. All right, you guys, we are going to be moving on to the next portion of the Diggscast, where we're going to be talking about what you should be doing with your weekly farm this week. We're going to be taking a look at the Final Fantasy Tactics EX stage. Again, I would always recommend farming the 2,500 or 5,000 tokens a day right now, so that you can focus on the 2 elements that you are in need of. So like right now, I am in need of the lightning element, so I'm farming way more because I'm doing a lot of multi, but I'm farming in order to buy the lightning element, so I do farm upwards of 5,000 tokens a day. Do make sure that you get that 5,000 tokens and buy the rainbow stone that's in there. Make sure you buy the rainbow orbs that are in the shops from the Final Fantasy Tactics event as well. It's coming to an end here soon in the near future. You do want to get ahead of it now instead of falling behind. You can grind free tokens if you do the multi with a whole bunch of people, so I would always shout out to go and do that. Another thing I want to call out is that it's the reset of the month, so you can farm your friend points and guild points again and get those rainbow stones from the monthly rewards. I would definitely go and get those. Continue to farm the equipment enhancement event for the card awakening materials. You guys, this is the easiest way that you can get access to the card awakening materials, and I would encourage anyone out there that if you have time to farm, if you have NRG to spare, you need to go and farm this equipment enhancement event, because these card awakening materials are so critical to building up the base stats of your characters that without it, you could see a difference of maybe 100 HP, 50 strength, even upwards of like 200 strength or 500 HP if you have the Golem card. So things to think about. There is also the cost analysis of maxing out a UR card, which does cost over 30 million gil as well. So think wisely when you're leveling up your cards. I would spread out the EXP a little bit. I would focus on specific cards for your specific build, and I would always remember to farm the snappers on the weekend. Shout out reminder for the free-to-play players, you did get your NRG pots. Make sure you're using them. You got 10 large ones, and make sure you're using your pots in general. I know I look at my husband's pot count, and he literally has like 300, 400 potions. It is ridiculous. He's probably listening to me right now, and he can say something on the screen. He's probably gonna be like, I only have 200, but I don't care. He has so many potions. So if you're free to play, this is a great event for you to farm, and I would highly encourage you to go do the equipment enhancement event. Even if you don't have a piece of equipment to enhance, I would go and farm it just so you can get the books, you can get that baseline. You'll probably need them one day for whatever the build is that you're going to be doing, and I think that that would definitely be a really good direction for you guys to go. Now that we've talked about what we want you to do for the weekly farm, you guys, we are going to talk about some of the corrections in my videos from this week, and we're going to talk about a couple of things that were brought up in the comments section. First off, in my Nagrarok video, you guys, I improperly used the Mithril Sword stats for the Mithril Saber. I do apologize for that. The names are very similar, and it makes sense to me that Mithril Saber would be the one-handed weapon. So I somehow mixed them up when I was using the tool that I was supposed to use. I improperly stated that you can equip one accessory, one armor only, but you can actually, with an accessory TMR, equip 2 TMRs, which I did not know until we actually found out on stream last night. In my TMR video, I did not know the percentage of Sir O's Mankiller on his Great Katana. It was pointed out in the comments section that it was 15%. In my Nagrarok video, I recommended a magic build, and people also pointed out that Vitality build is becoming very popular and very centralized right now. Personally, I still don't necessarily agree with that. We've talked about it in my Twitch chat. We've talked about it in other areas. I did pin that comment, though, on my YouTube video because I did want to make sure that everybody was able to see all of the perspectives and all of the different ideas that people are having out there for tiers and equipment right now. In my waifu tier list video, I did not realize that the waifu I didn't know was Schutzelt's wife. If I had known, oh my god, if I had known that that was Schutzelt's wife, I would have asked to press F for respects before dumpster firing her. In my waifu tier list video, I did not refer to Ayaka by her proper name. You guys, I cannot read tonight. Her proper name, which is Trailer Park Ayaka. In my accessory video, I misrepresented the Brave Ring. I said it was 10% damage mod, but it's just bravery plus 10. This mistake is actually exactly what Bismarck was talking about when I was interviewing him, where he said there was improper information that was out there. I was actually basing that off of a damage calculation that I found, which is supposedly from a data miner. And actually, it is not accurate. Bravery, as far as I can tell right now, does not affect attack. I might be correcting this later. It does affect attack below 50, but it's my current theory that bravery doesn't enhance attack above 50. That's my current theory. We are going to be testing it here in the near future. And that's it for the rest of the corrections, you guys. I hope you guys all enjoyed this edition and second edition, which is semi-live with Twitch chat down there, of the Diggscast. Next week, we are going to be having King Rian, who is a very popular Brazilian streamer. He does do tons of things like Gears Tactics, War of the Visions. We do have a very large Brazilian community in this channel, and he's been one of the people who's been supporting me from the beginning. I want to bring him on. I want to talk about the different types of monetization, the different types of currency, for example. What comes to my mind is, how do players in Brazil deal with, say, the currency gap between the US and Brazil, right? Because it seems like almost everything is based off of the global currencies. Is it way more expensive for them? All of that type of stuff. I also want to talk about Brazilian culture, and I want to talk about how that is connected with video games out there. So that's what we're going to be doing next week on the Diggscast. So that'll be Diggscast episode 3, you guys. And from there, I don't have a next guest selected. And I also don't know, we might be doing a live edition of the Diggscast again. And we might be having Rion actually go through the War of the Visions information that's going to be coming out next week with us before we sit down and interview with him, since he is also a streamer as well. So in terms of the Diggscast, you guys, that's it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope the start of your Saturday morning is going great right now.